Pope Francis has long said that he wants the church to be more transparent. To that end, the Vatican recently released two important financial statements. The first document is the Holy See's financial statement for 2021. It shows a deficit of more than $3 million. However, that is much less than the projected deficit of $34 million. The other report is for a section of the Vatican. It shows that despite difficulties from the pandemic, the department has a surplus of more than $8 million. Joining us now is Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Andreas, great to see you. So what more can you tell us about this? And also, should we be concerned about the Holy See's finances?
Well, if you want to have a short answer, Tracy, for the near future, we probably do not have to be concerned. The Vatican has released its financial numbers over the last weeks, and I had a little closer look. As News Nightly already reported for 2021, the Holy See's financial statement showed a deficit of around 3 million euros, and the Vatican Secretariat for the Economy was quick to put that number into better context. There were projections of a deficit amounting to 30 million euros or dollars. It turned out to be only a tenth of that. And against a balance sheet of several billions, 3 millions are not that much. Having said that, the Holy See is far from facing an easy time ahead, at least when it comes to finances.
So it sounds like you're saying, the deficit is actually not all that bad. That being said, could there be financial trouble, looming in the future, Andreas?
Well, there could be financial trouble looming in the future, Tracy. And when we talk about the Vatican and money, we need to consider three things. First, we're still in the middle of the biggest financial trial Vatican officials ever had to face, including prominent defendants such as former Cardinal Becciu. Second, Pope Francis's new constitution, Predicate Evangelium, went into effect in June and brought a significant shift in the management of financial resources and real estate assets. And thirdly, the Curia, which is more or less the government of the Church, is spending more than it brings in. According to the Secretariat for the Economy, over the last couple of years, assets have been sold in order to avoid too big of a deficit. Jesuit Father Juan Antonio Guerrero Alves, the prefect of the Secretariat, spoke of more than 20 million that are missing every year. On the Holy See's official channel, Vatican News, he said that the Curia continues to show insufficient coverage. And I quote, "The Pope's mission," he said, "is underfunded." A big liability that is looming over the Vatican finances is the pension fund of the Curia. Father Guerrero was rather outspoken when he said that there are close to €1 billion, which at this moment would not be sustainable in the long term. A problem that will only increase if the Vatican will be looking to hire more lay people into the ranks of the Curia, who will have certain pension and healthcare requirements. And this is something the new constitution is certainly facilitating, if not even pushing.
And Andreas, before I let you go, can you tell us more about the new structure of financial management in the Vatican that you mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the new constitution, a lot of responsibilities for finances and asset management has been accumulated with ABSA. This is short for the administration of the patrimony of the Holy See. It has also published its financial statements just recently. And ABSA's president, Bishop Nunzio Galantino, said in a public statement that it was necessary for reasons of transparency to make the financials public, which has happened last year for the very first time. Credibility and reputation of the Church, he said, also require competent and transparent management of the patrimony. The first big task ABSA had to take on was the selling of the infamous London property, which we also reported on, which they did at the beginning of this summer, sadly at a rather big loss. But altogether, ABSA was able to report a surplus of more than 8 million euros, and the operating result was close to 40 million euros, with around 20 million coming from the management of the Vatican's real estate assets. However, considering that the assets include Rome's prime locations, such as the Centro Storico and Via Consolazione, and that these assets amount to more than €1 billion, the returns are still far from average industry standards and will have to improve in the coming years. The same is true for investment returns. First steps into the right direction have been taken. A new investment board of very capable individuals with strong track records in the financial industry has been already established. So, Tracy, no need to be overtly concerned for the Vatican financials, but prayer will certainly be appreciated.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Andreas, thank you so much for that report. We really appreciate it. Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Thank you again.